The game we're looking at here is Tomb Raider. It is an action-adventure video game developed by Core Design and published by Eidos Interactive in 1996. The PC used in this video is from 1997, and this is what the game looks like in the standard 320 by 200 resolution. We will look at the computer in a bit more detail later on. The PC version of Tomb Raider supports a higher 640 by 480 resolution. We can clearly see the PC struggling, and the game is not smooth at all. This is the 3DFX Voodoo version. It also runs at 640 by 480 resolution, but with a locked 30 FPS, texture filtering, MIP mapping, and anti-aliasing. Let's look at that again. Here's the standard PC version, and this is what the game looks like on the same PC, but with a 3DFX Voodoo. Let's put them side by side to really see the difference. And that right there is the 3DFX Voodoo difference. Enjoy this video. We will look at some more games later on, and of course check out the Voodoo card itself. But now let's have a look at the system used for this video. Over the last few weeks, I reviewed a range of popular Socket 7 processors. It all started with a DOS gaming PC build that the viewers could vote on, choosing the processor, graphics card, and the MIDI device. The motherboard is an Asus SP97XV with a chipset from SIS. We're using 32 MB of SD RAM, a Tsang ET6000 PCI graphics card, and for sound we got an ESS audio drive. To really show the 3DFX Voodoo difference, we are using the Cyrix 6X86-200 again, which was the slowest processor that we looked at. That processor is excellent for demonstrating what an upgrade you're gonna get with a Voodoo card. Here we're looking at Descent 2 running on the Cyrix. It is a 1996 first-person shooter video game developed by Parallax Software and published by Interplay Productions. It is the second game in the Descent video game series, and unlike standard first-person shooters, the player must control a flying ship that has a 6 degrees of freedom movement scheme, allowing the player to move in any 3D direction. The game is kind of playable, but far from optimal. Once again, the 640 by 480 resolution is just a little bit too demanding for this machine. The game actually has a built-in frame counter, and we're getting just over 20 FPS. And this is the 3DFX Voodoo version on the same machine. Just look at the difference. On the Voodoo, the game is locked at a constant 60 FPS most of the time. There are some occasional dips in frame rate when the scene gets busy, but most of the time we are getting silky smooth 60 FPS. And of course, we're getting texture filtering, resulting in a less blocky image. Let's compare them side by side, and we can clearly see just what a difference the 3DFX Voodoo makes. The 3DFX Voodoo launched in November of 1996. It is a PCI 3D only graphics card that required a pass-through cable from a separate 2D card. In our case, we're pairing it up with the Tsang ET6000. A large number of companies produce the 3DFX Voodoo. However, the Orchid Righteous 3D as well as the Diamond Multimedia Monster 3D can be considered as the most popular models. The card I'm using is a Diamond Monster 3D. Although we are only looking at DOS games in this video, there are a vast range of 3D accelerated Windows games that run perfectly on the 3DFX Voodoo. The card doesn't need any drivers under DOS. However, you can control certain aspects of it through simple environment variables. Here's an example of a batch file I like to use, which lowers the gamma a little bit. The default setting is extremely bright. It also sets the refresh rate to 60 Hz and enables VSync to avoid tearing. I've done a video previously showing all the different gamma settings, and I've also uploaded drivers and other resources for the Voodoo cards onto my website. I'll put a link down below in the description. Depending on your region, prices for a 3DFX Voodoo card can vary greatly. At the moment, the cheapest Voodoo available to us Aussies goes for around 60 Australian dollars. So do check in your area, chances are you can get a much better deal. but you have to realize that anything from 3DFX is highly sought after and prices can be a little bit silly. DOS games would receive patches, usually as a new executable that you just copied into the game folder to launch the improved 3DFX version. Game support for Voodoo cards has always been excellent. All the game developers made sure that the games would run well on cards from 3DFX because of their popularity with gamers. The next game we're looking at is Screamer 2, or in other regions known as Bleifuß 2. It is the follow-up to Screamer, an arcade-style racing game. Offering more of a rally-oriented gameplay, it comes with 4 customizable cars, high-resolution graphics, tracks from regions such as the US, England, Switzerland, Egypt and others. It also has some really catchy CD audio tracks and a built-in CD player that lets you change tracks during gameplay. Screamer 2 is an extremely demanding DOS game when run at 640 by 480 resolution. It also uses 16-bit colors, which certainly doesn't make it any easier. Our machine is clearly not fast enough to run this game at a decent frame rate. And this is the 3DFX Voodoo version. There's just no comparison, it's like a completely different game. While we don't have a frame counter, it does feel like locked 60 FPS with the occasional dips below that. We also get some nice texture filtering and overall the image looks more pleasant to the eye. And here we have the 2 versions side by side. If you ever wanted to know what the 3DFX Voodoo difference is, just look at this example. If you had a 3DFX Voodoo back in the day, you know exactly why we love them so much. These cards changed gaming. Many established graphics cards companies got caught with their pants down, and it forced everyone in the industry to either adapt or perish. Share your 3DFX memories down below. What was that game that made you go out and buy a Voodoo card? For me, it was Tomb Raider. When I saw the graphics the 3DFX Voodoo card pulled out, I knew that PC 3D gaming was about to make a huge leap forward. And that's it guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, thank you if you have. Please share, like or dislike the video and share your thoughts down below. I always love hearing from you guys. See you soon in another video.
Here we are using technology to save the planet. Our tiny chip, it does 100 billion operations per second. That is power most awesome. And we are using it to make a difference. Imagine clean air, pure water, and a new future. I wish my family back home could see me now. And we are most proud knowing that we are doing our part to help save the planet.
Attention everybody, we're going to forget that environment stuff and use a chip for computer games. Back to work.
3DFX PC accelerators. So powerful, it's kind of ridiculous.
Blast his freaking head off!
We have in our possession a chip. A chip that could revolutionize medicine as we know it. By performing over 100 billion operations a second. This chip could help us heal across continents. We could touch more lives. Help people live longer than ever. And give us all more time to cherish the journey's truest rewards. But then we thought, hey, let's use it for games. "3DFX PC accelerators. So powerful, it's kinda ridiculous."